You can't really go wrong with a period piece, Vincent Price and medieval torture. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to the Dungeon Down Under dungeon video, and welcome to my 1950s versus 1960s series of the 31 Days of Horror. This is day 8. A Witchfinder General from 1968, directed by Michael Reeves and written by Ronald Bassett. The movie is set in 1645 during the English Civil War. Matthew Hopkins, played by Vincent Price, and a bloodthirsty witchfinder who roams the British countryside, feeding on the superstitions of the English populace. Hopkins is accompanied by John Stern as they go from village to village and execute people who are suspected of witchcraft. With or without evidence. They charge the local magistrate for their work and they make a pretty penny. Meanwhile, Richard Marshall, a young Roundhead. Okay, so if you're not too familiar with the Roundheads were soldiers loyal to the British Parliament against Charles I during the English Civil War. After a brief skirmish, Richard rides to a nearby village to visit his bestowed soon-to-be wife, Sarah. Sarah is the niece of a village priest, John Lowes. Lowes has given his permission for the young couple to be wed. During his visit, Richard becomes aware that both Sarah and Lowes have become outcasts in their own village. Richard vows to protect Sarah before he rides back to his regiment. After that, in Bradstone, Hopkins and Stern, the Witchfinders, immediately begin rounding up suspects. The priest Lowes is accused at his own home and is tortured. He has these needles stuck into his back, trying to find the so-called devil's mark, and is about to be killed. Just before he is killed, Sarah offers herself up to Vincent Price, who plays Hopkins, offering him sexual favours for her uncle's safety. Okay, so just a little bit about the English Civil War. So the English Civil War is from 1642 to 1659, was a series of civil wars and political machinations between Parliament's Roundheads and Royalist Cavaliers, principally over the manner of England's governance. So then we follow Stern and Hopkins are doing their work in Bradstone, where Sarah is allowed to be free and Lowes is put away into like a type of dungeon, and they keep him there for a while Sarah performs sexual acts for Hopkins. Stern becomes suspicious of Sarah, and after a while Hopkins is actually pulled away to another village for work. And Stern begins to have his way with Sarah. He rapes her, which is, like some of these scenes are just really brutal. It's fairly uncomfortable to watch. And Hopkins comes back to find out what's happened. And then they execute Lowes and a couple of people. They bring him out. And they do this type of execution thing where they hang these people off this bridge into water, and it is said that if they float, they are free. If they float up, swim to the surface, they are witches. If they die, and they were not witches. So it's a lose-lose situation for them. And yes, so Lowes is actually killed. He's hung because he floats to the top, I believe. And then everyone else is in the village is happy. The witches were found, so I don't think there's much of an investigation. They just point fingers, whoever's a witch is a witch, and they are killed. It's more of an outcast thing, yeah. During these superstitious times, and there's a British-English Civil War.
Flake. Cadbury's Flake. A heaven all of your own.
So I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, that's Witchfinder General, and I really do enjoy it. At its core, it is a religious horror movie, and it just reminds me of things like Children in the Corn, where people just follow orders, superstitions become rampant, things aren't questioned, people are just killed. And that's really good about this movie, and I do enjoy it. It's very confronting. Some of the killings and the torture scenes are very confronting. But this actually did happen in history, and it is true, and it's great to see it on screen. It's a movie I would recommend, and it has that Italian pasty blood, which I love. I love the Italian pasty blood. There's a lot of chopping axe scenes where you can just see the blood pouring out. It's fantastic. And the thing they nail in this period piece is it feels very authentic. The acting is good. They use a lot of stage actors like Ian Olivier, who plays Richard, is a stage actor. And they really nail that. Vincent Price who plays Matthew Hopkins, is also good. But who steals the show is Robert Russell, who plays John Stern. I think he is bloodthirsty, he's menacing, and he overshadows Vincent Price. So Witchfinder General, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. If you like these type of religious movies and Vincent Price movies, you'll definitely enjoy Witchfinder General. So I give Witchfinder General a 7 out of 10. I would recommend it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you could please subscribe, that would be great. Drop a comment down below. This is Kurt from the Dungeon. Thanks for watching.